Okay, so here's the thing. When D&D came out, there wasn't a lot to compare it against. When Advanced Dungeons and Dragons came out, it was an improvement on the D&D original set. Like, so many more rules. These were rules that often they wrote up in Dragon Magazine. People submitted better ideas, and they incorporated it into making Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They still had the basic D&D box set line going at the same time. There's a whole story behind that, but these rules were better than what came before. And what came before was interesting to people. People got excited about the idea of playing wizards or fighters or elves and dwarves. And, like, you mean I could be like a hero from my favorite fantasy novel? Yeah, sure. That sounds great. And it was competing against less things. Beyond the media landscape, which was much smaller, and the fact that they didn't have an internet, there were a few role-playing games out at the time, but you already had to be into the hobby pretty far to know about it. When you went to the store, you didn't see Tunnels and Trolls or Traveller or anything like that on the usual bookshelves, but you did see Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So that's the environment in which you encounter it. And because there wasn't an internet and you were a kid and a little bit ignorant, you didn't really recognize a lot of the problems at the time. Put aside the biodeterminism, bioessentialist nonsense that Gygax weaved into it. Even just the mechanical stuff, which seems weird now, was just the way it was, and nobody was really questioning it too much, except maybe some game designers who ended up designing their own games. So when you were told, okay, the armor class 0 is the best armor class to go for, you didn't really question it. It's what the rules said. You want to play a bard? Okay. They turned it into an achievement. You want to play a paladin? Well, you better roll well enough to get that. There were a bunch of things that, at the time, made sense on the surface, but in retrospect, they look silly. They look weird, or they look dumb, or occasionally offensive. But at the time, it's not like we had a lot to compare it to.